Hi guys, I am Olivia Milana or Mama Milana, and welcome to my newest installment. Today we're going to be talking about how I survived 1 year of breastfeeding. This is a little preemptive. My daughter just turned 11 months today, but we are going strong, and I felt like it was a great time to make a video about our experience. I'm going to give you some survival tips that truly helped me get through the last 11 months, almost a year. And there's going to be a mix of products. I'm just going to give some practical tips, some advice. Please keep in mind, I am not a board certified lactation consultant and I am not a medical doctor. If you have any true questions or concerns about breastfeeding, please seek out experts. But I am here for those who are Googling, for those who are looking for YouTube support. So let's get started. Okay, first off, we're going to talk about some of the things. It's going to include some comfortable nursing clothing and just some practical items that you may even have around that could help you get through the first year. So initially, I remember when we were in the very early weeks and months, it felt like she was breastfeeding like every 30 minutes. I swear, this girl always wanted to be on the nipple. I totally suggest getting some of these items. We'll start with something I've talked about in probably the last 2 videos I've done, and they are muslins. This particular swaddle blanket is by Aiden and I. They usually come in packs of 3. They're made of soft, breathable muslin. One of the reasons I like these is because if you don't have a nursing cover, if you don't prefer a nursing cover and you want something practical that has a bunch of different uses, this is a great product. When she was really little and before she started flailing, I would use it as a nursing cover, and I'd also use it as a burpee cloth. So you can easily drape it over your shoulder, lift up, stick baby underneath there, and you can go to town. It's just a great item to kind of get you through, nursing in public and just messes and all those things that will come along with breastfeeding. By the way, like all this stuff looks like super dingy, but that means it was well loved. It means I used it a lot, so like bear with me. Also, I'm like a mom and I have like 0 time, so. Another item that I used all the time was maternity nightgowns. These have the wonderful nursing clip bra tops. They're super comfortable, they're cute. This is another awesome product, especially in the early days when, like I said, you don't want to put on pants and you're like nursing 24/7. And I've shown this in my first video with some of the nursing essentials. These copper pearl nursing covers, phenomenal. You can also use them as car seat covers, high chair covers, cart covers, you name it. These are also amazing, especially when your baby starts like flailing. So around like 4 months when they start like exploring with their hands, phenomenal because they're not going to knock off like your nursing cover or anything like that. I also have this like cute pattern. They come in like super cute pattern. Another thing that you're gonna see in a lot of like essentials, new baby stuff is a nursing pillow. Now, I love the boppy, but I am also a bigger girl. So the boppy is a little like narrow. Okay, so if you have like a beautiful voluptuous body like myself, this may or may not fit you. My waist is a little bit smaller, so this was okay. And I enjoy it, and we enjoyed it for other reasons, like for developmental reasons, for like a little bit of a baby prop and for tummy time and things like that. So this may or may not work for you. I still will suggest it because I think it's a great just like product. But maybe more of like a practical tip is if you have a small lumbar pillow, as you can see, Daniel and I are like crazy Disney fanatics, so like everything is branded Disney, that's why. So if you have like a small lumbar throw pillow sitting around, this is great. This almost has worked better than the boppy for me. To prop it like on your knee, and you can simply just lay the baby's head right there, and it just gives like a little bit of elevation and makes them comfortable. You don't have to wrap something around you. This is great, like cheap, like go to Target, go get one. Just get one because they're cute too and makes like your couch look adorable, but also like practical. That's what you'll tell your husband. Tell your husband that you need a pillow for breastfeeding, but like get a bunch of cute ones and then put them all over your couch and like on all the beds in your house. And then like you've gotten away with decorating your house and having breastfeeding hacks. Another item that we're going to talk about is a breast pump. I literally did a video earlier this week about this breast pump. I love it. It is the Spectra S1. You don't have to use this breast pump. Get whatever breast pump is covered by your insurance, or get whatever breast pump that you already have. That's fine. That's great. Breast pumps are awesome just to get your supply up and to build like backlog in supply, because you're going to need it. You are going to want to leave your kid like for 5 hours once you're, in the home stretch of breastfeeding, and having that backlog of supply is phenomenal. Also, if you just want a break and you want daddy or grandma or grandpa or your sister or your brother or whoever to feed the baby, or even your other kids to feed the baby and have that time to bond, pumping is great for that. And when the baby starts sleeping through the night and maybe you have like an oversupply and you just need to take a little bit of the pressure off, that's what breast pumps are for. And finally, I'm also going to give you guys a tip of using lanolin. This lanolin's by Lansnow. I've always used this lanolin. I love it. I know a bunch of other different brands make them as well. This is just great when you start getting dry and cracked nipples. Of course, lanolin is like the #1 product. It soothes them, it protects them from even more damage. So this is another thing to have in your bag of tricks. Okay, so some more practical tips on getting through that first year. Mentally, it is really tough. I just feel like there's all of this politicized drama around breastfeeding when really it's no one else's business but a mother or a family's, a mother and a father, or a mother and her child, or whoever makes those decisions in your household. But my journey to breastfeeding was interesting. I have actually never known anyone who breastfed for an entire year. My mother breastfed my sister and I for 3 to 6 months maybe. And then of course she had to return to the workplace, and at that time pumping and bringing back breast milk really wasn't as common. Everybody else that I knew in my family had always gone straight to formula. So it was maybe a little bit different than what I had seen practiced in my family. I had to seek out my own tribe. And that started on YouTube. I searched for people's breastfeeding stories, their journeys, just to find out what it was like and what the difference was between formula feeding a child, what I'd always seen practice, and actually breastfeeding a child for an entire year. I have to thank like Anna Saccone Jolie for that. She was my #1 inspiration to go all the way for an entire year and breastfeed. She was such a motivator for me, and I have a lot to owe her, because I saw her just gracefully breastfeed and never complain about it for an entire year for now all 3 of her children. So I think it's really important to find your tribe and to seek a community, seek out the information that you need, because just like in all success stories, it's so great to find someone you can look up to, and you don't necessarily have to do it their way, but you can emulate and hear their trials and tribulations that they went through and know you're not alone and that you can push through. 1 year is a very long time to breastfeed. Breastfeeding is the hardest thing I have ever done in my entire life, but it is the most rewarding. And I think without finding people on YouTube or, even on Google and blogs and things like that, and learning about their stories and how they accomplished it, I wouldn't have been able to get through it. If you're fortunate enough to have, a mom, a sister, whatever female in your life who has breastfed and has accomplished whatever goal you've set for yourself, I hope that you ask them every question that you need answered, and I hope that they're there to support you. So speaking more about support, one of the biggest life rafts for me in this journey has been my husband. He was just the most supportive with my journey to breastfeeding. He fostered like a passion for continuing to breastfeed. He supported me the entire way. Even when I had those days of doubt, he was there for me. And if you don't have that in your household, like I said before, go find it, search for it. In the middle of the night on a random Tuesday when your baby's screaming their head off and they're teething, you need someone there to pat you on the back. You need to send a text. You need to go and watch a video. You need to do something to get and to push through that like hurdle. I think support overall is really one of the biggest success tips I have for breastfeeding. And you know, if everyone's against you on it because for some reason we're all arguing about how a baby's being fed, but if there's someone there for you that can just support you in being the mom that you want to be, you need to hold on to them and love them and thank them, and you know, and but you also deserve that. Okay, so here's a personal survival tip that I've learned through my experience, and that is put the baby on your boob. Don't think about it. The baby may have a dry diaper. She may be gassy. There could be a million, or he may be gassy. There may be a million reasons why they're crying. But if all else fails, put the baby on your boob. They may have just eaten 5 minutes ago, but just put the baby back on your boob. I can't tell you how many times that, like, I would just get frustrated to a point where I'm sitting there going, I don't know, she's not hungry, she's just ate, she is having fun, it doesn't matter. As soon as I put her on my boob, it was like the world stopped and she was happy again, even if it was just for 2 minutes. And I honestly think that because I constantly put the baby on my boob, my supply has been awesome. I've gotten through this whole time with a great supply, never worrying about it, never having to think about it. Because one advice that I was given a long time ago was, you think a cow ever thinks about their supply? And it's true. You know, I'm not talking about like dairy cows. I'm talking about cows in the wild feeding their young. Do they ever think about their supply? Probably not. And they're okay. So just relax, put the baby on your boob, and just keep trucking. I mean, the days and nights are going to be long for a while, but you're going to hit a point and you're going to hit a stride, and it's just going to work for you. Daniel and I never really worried about schedules with her, or, you know, looking at a clock and has she eaten in the last 5 hours? Oh, well, it's not, 3 hours yet, so she doesn't need to eat. I just put her on my boob. I just wait for her to tell me that she needs me, and then I put her on my boob. And if she doesn't need me, she's more than capable of pushing away or closing her mouth, even when they're really, really, really little. I can't stress that enough. Even if you think you're doing it too much, or, you're cemented to a couch or a chair or something, just keep putting the baby on your boob. I swear, I think that's like the biggest tip. Like, just put the baby on your boob and you will get what you want, and the baby will get what they want. And somehow in science and in like chemistry and in your body and in America and the world and the planet, it all flows. And you just have to go with it and trust your mommy intuition as well as your body's intuition and your baby's body's intuition. It'll all kind of sort itself out. Another tip is about relaxation. No one tells you how hard breastfeeding is. Lactation consultants will tell you, oh, you'll get the hang of it. Other moms who breastfed before will say, you'll figure it out. It'll work itself out. And I mean, I just told you that like 2 seconds ago. But it's hard. It's so hard. You're going to be crying in the middle of the night. Maybe some people aren't. Maybe some people don't. And they're awesome. I'm so happy for them. They're doing awesome. No shade. It's just, it was super hard. This video isn't supposed to be like sunny, happy, all great tips. I did it. You can too. Yeah, I did it and you can too. But it was also hard. I'm not going to like beat around the bush. I put a lot of work into it. And you're going to put a lot of work into it too. But it's such a beautiful, rewarding experience. If you climbed a mountain and you got to the top and you didn't see a view, you'd be pissed. You'd be so mad. You'd be like, why'd I do that? Exactly. Like, you have to climb the mountain. You have to get to the top. You have to breastfeed. Your boobs have to crack. They have to hurt. You're going to be tired. You're going to want to get up from the couch and do something with your life. You're going to want to, like, escape for a second and let somebody else handle the feeding. And you can. Like I showed you earlier, there are different ways to do things like that and still breastfeed. But this is hard. And it's important that you relax. Because I didn't. And I drove myself insane. And I was full of anxiety and I had all these issues. What if I leave and the baby needs me and I'm the only one who can feed her and she'll only take my nipple and she won't take a bottle? And I had all of those fears, but they subsided once I decided just to kind of let go and let nature work the way it was supposed to work. And you know, I would find a way if I had to leave the house. My supply got better the less I freaked out. And I felt better the less I freaked out. My skin got better the less I freaked out. So take a second for yourself. If you need to shower, blow dry your hair, put some mascara on and like pull it together. Then you do that. If the baby's crying and you need to put her on, fine. I know I just said like put her on your boob all the time. Fine. Baby can cry. Babies cry. It happens. But, you know, find that middle ground and find ways around it. The best thing I ever learned this whole time was to lay down while I was nursing. The laying down position while nursing is like amazing. It's incredible. Like I can fall asleep while I'm nursing my daughter and we're cool. I'm resting. She's eating. She's resting. What else is there? Like that is like a gold star. I can't feed a baby a bottle and fall asleep. Thanks, nature, for creating like a super cool thing I can do while I'm sleeping. It was like awesome. Mission accomplished. Like we've done it. I fed a baby while I'm asleep. That's super cool. And the final tip I'm going to give you is if you ever are hitting a breaking point, if you're in doubt, if you have touched all of your support system and that's just not really giving it to you and feeding what you need, if all of the gadgets in the world aren't working, your pump's not working, you can't lay down and breastfeed, it's uncomfortable for you, you're not sleeping, just look up the benefits of breastfeeding. I do live by fed is best, and if for whatever reason you can't breastfeed or you choose not to breastfeed, feed your kid. I mean, common sense. But it's also common sense that the biological norm is breastfeeding. It's the norm. It's what we're supposed to do as a human race. We're supposed to feed our kids from our boobs, and there's no guilt associated with it, whatever you decide. The guilt on you. I honestly don't feel like anybody should be guilting anybody on how to feed their kids. But the honest to God truth is breast milk is superior to formula. God willing, you're still biologically able to breastfeed. That's a whole different story. But if you are still biologically able to breastfeed, just look up why you should keep doing it. If not for the health reasons for your son or daughter or your child, all of the medical research that's out there since 1976, it's proven time and time again that breast milk is superior in cognitive ability, developmental statistics, allergies, anything you can think of, it's been shown to be superior. And then on top of that, the risk for you for breast cancer, cervical cancer, and it will lessen your risk for postpartum depression. It's just a wonderful thing. And if you have the ability to do it, if anything, I just suggest you try it. And if you only get a weekend, you got a weekend. Good for you. You did something amazing. You created human life in your body and then you sustained it with your body without doing anything different than just living and continuing to care for your child. And it was free. My biggest advice is if you just get to that point where you say, is it worth it? I'm losing my mind. Just Google it. Pull up any article and make sure it's from a scientifically reputable source. And across the board, it will tell you the biological norm is breastfeeding. And formula is acceptable, but breastfeeding is just better. I may get a lot of hate on this video, and I'm ready for it. I'm trying not to stand on one side of the fence and say, this is better than that. But, we come to a point where if you're trying to be successful at breastfeeding, You have to be real about it, and you have to know, A, it's hard, B, it's tiring, and C, it is better. Sorry. Oh, finally, if you have any questions regarding latch or tongue ties or any of those things, make sure you reach out to a lactation consultant. They can be a godsend. My lactation consultant is literally, she needs to be canonized. She's a saint to me. She changed my world. So that's another great tip. I hoped you liked this video. I enjoyed making it. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more Mama Milana videos, as well as our daily vlogs about me, my husband, and my adorable 11-month-old baby. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.